And we are here in Contact looking at Broadway Gig. You see in the instruments we have legato instruments and polyphonic instruments, and in the multis we have legato, polyphonic, and RTO. We'll get to that in a second. Let's check the instruments one by one, going with legato instruments, starting with baritone saxophone. So that's just legato. Let's try with vibrato. And we have a lot of special articulations with baritone saxophone. Most of them we also have in the other instruments. So we have staccato, staccatissimo, and then we have legato to short, which is basically and you can do that in repetition, just using the sustain pedal or the virtual sustain pedal, as you can see here at the low C. Sforzando. Sforzando with crescendo. That's the really pre-recorded sforzando. And if you're smart about it, you can combine a lot of articulations. So you can do things like sforzando in legato to short, for example, like that. So the first note is sforzando, the second note is legato to short. So it's a without the sforzando, it still sounds great. It sounds like this. But if you want that attack, or just staccatissimo. So different variations, different nuances, you got them all here. Here is smear into note. Let's move on. Next is tenor saxophone. So here we have different speeds of sforzando. So sforzando crescendo fast and sforzando crescendo slow. And the beauty of these is you can actually end them with other articulations. So you can do something like this. Very, very musically flexible. Let's check the vibrato here. So we have deep vibrato as well. And no vibrato. As opposed to progressive vibrato. Or deep vibrato. Or strong vibrato. You get the idea. Lots of options. Glides, falls, fall up, falls from sustain. Oh, and of course, smears. And rip to shorts. Let's move on. So now, next we have the trombone. Here we're talking about pedal notes. It's a tenor trombone, but we have an extended range. So here, these are pedal notes. They're not a part of the official range of the instrument, but it's playable, and so we recorded it. So. You heard some of the legato samples here. Interestingly, we recorded legato not just up to an octave, but up to a major ninth. So you can do things like that. And yes, I know the physical range of the glissando in a trombone is only up to a tritone, but that can still be extended by faking it with the lips, and that's exactly what the musician did. So you get a very, very realistic glissandis that are beyond the technical range. And you can see also, you can go very, very high. So it sounds like kind of fast, now it's slow. So that's another articulation we didn't see in the other instruments. Glide into staccato. Very typical of a trombone. Of course, we get the staccato and staccatissimo. And you hear all the little breathing and all the little noises that make it so much more alive. And last but not least, let's take a look at that trumpet. you've got the idea. All right, let's move on. The polyphonic instruments, those are the same instruments as the legato instruments, just without the legato transitions, and in polyphonic mode, which means it allows you to play chords. So I'm loading trombone polyphonic, and it sounds pretty much like that. Pretty self-explanatory. Of course, you lose the legato transitions, but you play chords as you wish. Let's move on to the multis. We have legato, polyphonic, and RTO. Legato is basically the same instrument as the legato that we just looked at, stacked. So, for example, let's load this little multi, and we get this. What we have here is 2 trumpets, 2 trombones, a tenor saxophone, and a baritone saxophone, all stacked together, sounding like that. Great, powerful, and simple. Playing melody lines, hooks, etc. Very, very easy to control. Moving along to polyphonic multis, we have here the lean and mean and the thick big band harmony. Both very, very simple. Lean and mean allows us to keep things light and bright, even when playing bigger chords. So, for example, on the other hand, if you want a fuller sound, just load in the thick big band harmony multi, and you get, even though it's just a bari sax added to the previous one, you get a much, much, much thicker sound. And as you play full chords with a lot of notes, these multiply. And so these 3 instruments stacked here sound enormous. Take a listen.